This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined by Ade from The Zone. It sounds pretty nice, doesn't it, when you say from The Zone?
It's good, you know. It's good. We've worked hard to get there. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Ade from The Zone. I like it. And Talksport and 888, a few others, but yeah. The Zone.
I guess The Zone's number one, but the others, they're still creeping up a little bit. Is your first time in Nashville, though?
It is first time in Nashville. I haven't really been out as much. I went to what I would call the Strip last night, which was crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. I just got an Uber here, and the guy actually called. He said it's not Nashville. He said it's Nash Vegas, and I kind of get it now. I kind of get it. But I'm not drinking. I'm on this mad diet, so.
Well, at least you can get in. I can't get in anywhere. I'm 19.
Yeah,
so you can't. It's useless being in America, really.
Even if you were 25 and look the way you look, you ain't getting in because you look about 10. So, so I can understand why you're not getting in. But no, Nashville's crazy. You know what it is? We obviously, look, me and you travel around the same amount of time. We never really get to see the places. That's
now I've made sure that I do see the places. Yeah, now I made sure. I think like when I was in Austin, Texas last November, I didn't really go out. I was just so stressed in the work. Yeah. And there was a good week, to be fair. Yeah. But now I make sure I go out and see what's around. That's
kind of my as well. I'm so stressed about just getting it done correctly. Like the press conference, because you know how crazy, you saw it yesterday, and trying to control that. I don't do the weigh-ins. Obviously, Todd Grisham over there does that. So today's almost like my day of just breathe. Yeah. So I come here just as a fan, and then just go out and walk around, have a bit to eat, and then, showtime tomorrow.
I like stuff going 100 miles an hour. I love doing I did the Kingpin in Dublin last week as well. I like doing 2 fights back to back because it's difficult going from 100 miles an hour one fight a week and just dropping down to 0 miles an hour when you're back at home. Yeah. Obviously, you're still doing the Zooms and the in-person ones, but it's not doing 25 interviews a day or anything like crazy like that.
I agree. I like kind of the back-to-back-to-back. So for me, I've got this, and then I go to Vegas. I go back to UK. Then I go to Vegas for Spence Crawford. Then I go back to the UK, and then I come to Dallas, Texas for Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, and then I got AJ White. So I don't mind the boom, 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 and then I press the pause button because you got to breathe a little bit. But I don't mind chaos. Like, I enjoy that kind of madness. Yeah. You know, it's weird. When I first started,
it's refreshing.
Exactly, because we don't have it at boxing events. When I first started, I thought, what is this madness? But now I just kind of get used to it, and I don't mind it.
My plan of it is I'm going particularly. Obviously, next week is LA, and then it's Dallas, Texas. Not Dallas, Texas, just Dallas.
Yeah, what's in LA?
I'm just staying at a mate's house there.
He's got it like that.
But then I'll do lots of interviews in LA as well, because everyone lives in LA nowadays.
Really? I thought they lived in Hackney.
Wow, that's very humbling.
No. Look,
I thought they lived in Hackney.
Yeah. You know what it is? You've got this crazy life. But I think people don't see the effort you put in behind the scenes. So they'll see you flying everywhere and doing all the interviews, but I don't think they're actually seeing the effort it takes to get all the interviews. Like, no one lines up for an interview. You chase them and you get them. And I feel like what you're doing is incredible. And again, to do it at your age, like for me to do it now, I'm like 40. For me to go around, it's easy. Yeah. For you to do it as a teenager, mate, do you know what I was doing? And at 19, I was working at Burger King. So what you're doing, I find sensational. So well done.
I do appreciate it, but I feel like doing stuff when you're young is so much easier as well. I can't lie, I definitely get more access to people because I'm younger. Yeah. Now it's easy, not easy, but now it's a lot easier because you know people. But even at the very beginning, people will give you more access because you're younger. They're like, oh yeah, you can go through. Yeah. So it is easier. So I have definitely used it to my advantage. But
No. I think you're being too kind on yourself or too harsh on yourself. I remember you when you were like 15, 16, tweeting people, can I get an interview? I'll
still do it. I'll have to do that next week when I'm in LA.
And people would get back to you. And the fact that you've interviewed everyone. I mean, Ariel Helwani must have been a bucket list one.
He's going to Dallas as well.
He's going to Dallas. I remember when you kind of put your list out of who you want to do. You must have done all of them. Who haven't you done?
Everyone now, actually, yeah.
Mental. So you need to create another list. Donald Trump. You need to create another list. Yeah, create another list. It's crazy.
Well, obviously, Donald Trump would be a great one. Yeah. There's lots of people I would like to talk to. Yeah. But it will happen. Everything will happen eventually, gradually, 100%. After the past events. Like Rice Gum, people, coming to the fight on Saturday night, hopefully. You can definitely grab yourself, though, in this event. What are you most excited for?
Tag team. Yeah. I like the tag team one just because I remember that the one with B. Dave and Pineda. And look, I have to be honest with you, I was like, what is this nonsense? I remember when I saw it, because obviously we're lucky enough to get the idea of what they're going to do maybe a month out. Like you know what's coming, don't you? And I was like, what is this nonsense? This is ridiculous. We're embarrassing the sport. It was the greatest thing in Misfits. And we've had so many good things in Misfits, but I thought the tag team one was amazing. Hopefully, this is going to be as good. Like the idea of Deen the Great and Walid being on the same team, they're not going to tag each other. They're not going to, like, Walid's going to jump in the ring because they're not going to tag each other. So I think it's going to be carnage. And I like that one more than anything. It's a bit upsetting that Hasim Rahman ain't here. I think Hasim Rahman versus Alan Belcher would have been Yeah, for a hardcore boxing fan, that's legit. But yeah, I think the tag team one's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
But the last tag team fight was so uncompetitive. It was just so one-sided. So this one will be a competitive one, or more competitive at least. So you can see how it really, really works. Because last time was in easy mode, this is in hard mode.
Yeah, I remember the last one. I can't remember who the guy was that was just running out of the ring.
It was Ice Poseidon and...
It was Ice Poseidon that was running out of the ring. Yeah. But this one, you're right. I mean, IPAP's going to come and fight. Yida Gang's going to fight. This is competitive. In fact, you'd say that those two guys, IPAP and Yida Gang TV, are probably naturally a bit bigger than Deen the Great and Walid Shark, so like size-wise. So I think it's competitive. I think it'll be fun. I expect Deen the Great and Walid to win if they work with each other, but they're not going to. So, look, it's going to be fun. These events are all about having fun. I think people, especially from the hardcore boxing mob, they take this too seriously. Yeah. They are, the house a disgrace, and what are you doing? It's just fun. They have fun with it. They come, they promote themselves, they get in the ring, they have fun. And look, I've been lucky enough to see a lot of these guys in the gym. They work. Like, these guys are working in the gym to get fit. It isn't like 5 years ago when people were gassed out after 30 seconds. These guys are fit, so I watch it with a bit of fun, and I think most people do.
Do you think there'll be any push around with Deen and Walid before the fight, after the fight, any arguments?
Of course they will. Even
on fight night?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Possibly.
I reckon they'll behave, but then in the interviews after, someone asks a question, then I get arguing again.
I wouldn't be shocked if, like, IPAP and Yida Gang TV get knocked out early and Walid and Deen the Great have a fight. That'll be good,
isn't
crazy, would that be? If, like, they win and it's like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. That'll be mad. But, yeah, those two, look, that's the blockbuster fight in Misfits, or one of them anyway, that needs to happen this year. That we need to see it. I don't know why we haven't seen it already. We should have seen it immediately after the first one in Texas. Yeah. Was it Austin, Texas? Yeah, happen again. That was crazy, the knockdown. So hopefully we get to see that fight very, very soon.
And then KSI will be here for fight night. Do you expect KSI Tommy to be announced immediately after?
You know what? That would surprise me because I've not been told, obviously, as the presenter. I haven't been told. But it needs to be. It'll be a shame, though, if it's announced without Tommy Fury being here. Because I feel like we need to see another face-off. Another face-off would be nice. But that's the big one. That's the one that easily breaks 750,000 pay-per-view buys.
It was 800k Jake Paul and Tommy. Do you reckon that had the storyline of years in the making? So that's the only difference between the two.
That's the only difference. That's it. But I think because this one's almost a bit more intriguing because KSI is so small compared to Tommy Fury, and it's like people are like, KSI ain't got a chance. Whereas I think Jake Paul had a chance against Tommy. So I don't know. I think it does around that number. I think he'll be close. But even that number's crazy. Like 800, 750. Someone's getting paid. Someone's getting
Misfits
paid.
Will continue.
Yeah, Misfits will be okay. Don't worry. It'll be okay. But yeah, that's a big one. And then hopefully, I mean, look, what we really, really want is Jake Paul to beat Nate Diaz, from my perspective anyway, because this is built. And then obviously KSI to get the job done against Tommy Fury, because then you get Jake Paul versus KSI, and you're talking any number. I don't even know what that
1.5?
Yeah. 1.5, Wembley Stadium, sold out. Just like that. I tried to tell my friends who are not really into this. I was like, oh, it does 1.5 million. They thought I was crazy. I'm like, I'm telling you, this does more than AJ versus, I don't know, White coming up easily. They don't get it. I was like, I'm telling you guys. But yeah, let's see. We'll see.
Well, it's funny. When you look at the zone schedule, 3 of the fights are all influencer fights, all on pay-per-view, and there's one is White and AJ. Yeah, so it's taken over the zone influence boxing.
Yeah, hardcore boxing fans ain't happy about that. No, they're not happy about it at all. And look, there needs to be a balance, right? I mean, the zone needs to kind of get the balance right. I think Matchroom are announcing their schedule of fights next week. Right. So hopefully there's some big ones in there to kind of go hand in hand with what the crossover boxing scene's doing. But look, I mean, this is setting a standard. This is putting on events, right, all over the world. So look, we'll see what happens.
Perfect. I think we'll wrap it up here. We'd better get going.
When are you going to fight? What are you talking about? When are you going to fight? Fox or G? I just see it.
My mum messaged me this morning as well, saying, Fred, don't get dragged into anything.
Really? Did she really? You'll beat Fox or G, though. You'll beat him. You'll beat him.
He's a nice kid.
He's a nice kid. You'll beat him. If they're paying, I can be a manager.
Awesome, Ade. Thank you. Thank you.